Welcome back to Crazy Theory Hour with Scott. uh, okay, so the two big theories that I have that's gonna happen are everyone's gonna start eating people. That's probably a thing that's gonna happen, and of course we're gonna be eating the one that has broken legs. You know, it's fine. Look, she's gonna be a goner anyway. Two, I don't think Kazuki's gonna die. Just throwing that out there. I don't think she's actually dead. I mean, we're not. I think what's gonna happen is we're not gonna see her in this game after this ever again. But I feel like later down the road in the other games we're gonna see her again. I feel it in my nuggets. And the nuggets don't lie. I keep telling you guys. Oh my god, I don't want to be right about anything other than the Kazuki part because she's cool. Second day in the valley. That morning, I woke to an eerie song of distant birds. I had burrowed into my sleeping bag and closed my eyes, fully expecting to lie awake all night, but evidently I must have dozed off at some point. Well, you need sleep at some point, too. When I forced open my unexpectedly heavy eyelids, I found the interior of our blue tent illuminated by a slanting ray of morning sun. Thankfully, the temperature had risen and within the dawn. With the dawn, not within it. I must have slept for at least a few hours, but the burden of my fatigue was no lighter. If anything, I felt even more exhausted than I had been the night before. Still wrapped in my sleeping bag, I turned sideways on top of my thin silver mat. Twisting my head toward the other side of the tent, I was surprised to find my roommate missing. She's doing whatever. Kazuki? Where could she have wandered off to? Don't worry about it. The mat and sleeping bag Kazuki had been using sat on the ground next to me, neatly tied together in a tight roll. From the looks of things, it was unlikely she'd just stepped out to use the bathroom. Kazuki was clearly already awake and taking action. You're damn right. Cause this fucking Kazami family ain't no fucking slouchers, alright? We're the fucking hashtag occupation student team, alright? I crawled outside the tent into a clear-skied but dim morning. The sheer cliffs to our right and left intercepted most of the sun's light. What little actually reached us filtered down through the gaps in the thick vegetation far above. No doubt the same reason it felt oddly chilly for a summer day. Others had already emerged from their tents into the gloomy dawn. Here and there, they sat quietly on the hard stone ground. In addition to the trauma and mental exhaustion of the previous day, we'd slept in an unfamiliar environment. Not the best way to get rested. Burp and refreshed. Most had hardly slept at all, judging from the dark circles under their eyes. Oof. Oh, we already ate her? But it's day 2! No. I called out to a freshman from a neighboring tent, Ibuki Haruna, seated some 3 meters away. Ibuki brushed her long bangs out of her eyes with her fingers and responded listlessly.
Kazuki? ああ、風見さんならシャベルを担いで森の方に行ったから、おトイレじゃないかな。
Shit, man, I wouldn't even bury it if I needed to.
そう。
God damn it, why did you have to give them sprites? We're gonna care about them and then they're gonna die. That's literally why. I turned toward the valley's lone exit, the tangle of vegetation we call the forest, but Kazuki was nowhere in sight. I did, however, happen to notice someone acting rather oddly a little way off. What's going on here?
So?
We need to figure this out, because we don't want no crazies. It was Sakuma Minori, a third-year senior. She was a talented and athlete, particularly skilled at sinking three-pointers, who'd earned the title of scoring queen in our team. At that moment, she was repeatedly hurling a small object straight up into the air.
気になるなら自分で聞いてきたら？私、あの先輩苦手。
Ooh, I'm sensing some bad blood already. Ibuki didn't bother to lower her voice. She didn't seem to care whether her frank words might reach the ears of our senior. As the result of last night's discussion, she'd been paired with the very same Sakuma senpai and was stuck sharing a tent with her for the duration of our stay here. The combination seemed logical enough, since Ibuki and Sakuma had been sharing a room as boarder students, but room assignments in the dorm were arbitrary, arranged for the convenience of the school. As in most boarding students, the freshmen tended to moan about running chores for their arrogant older roommates, while seniors complained about being expected to clean up after some useless brat. If you're stuck living in the same room for an extended period of time, the reasonable thing would be to deal with your differences and find a way to get along, but it seems that things aren't so simple, particularly for girls. Wow. And the roommates who disliked each other disliked each other most tended to be exactly the ones who were kept together when rooms were reassigned the next year. It wasn't just coincidence either. From what I heard, our school deliberately tried to create awkward combinations as a sneaky way of maintaining discipline. That's stupid. Letting friends clump together naturally leads to cliques. I almost said cliches. Holy shit. Well, it could. Leads to cliques and group attempts to skirt the rules. In turn, this can create sharp divisions between those who want peace and quiet in the dorm and those who want to enjoy themselves. Sometimes these would end in nasty squabbles. In other words, the mixing of oil and water personalities in individual rooms prevented larger scale problems, or so I've heard. As someone who commuted to school, it was a bit hard for me to understand dorm politics. I feel like I've never lived in the same room as a roommate. Like, I got roommates, but like we each have our own room. I don't think I could deal with being in the same room. Oof. Mind your own goddamn business, kid.
Oh, Amane ka. Kore da kore.
Okay, she looks happy. Alright, what are we doing? Sakuma held out a small object she'd been hurling repeatedly into the sky. Specifically, it was her cell phone. She'd been repeating a simple pattern of action, throwing it straight up in the air with all her might, retrieving it on the way back down, then throwing it right back up again. On closer examination, the body of the phone was battered and covered in fine cracks. She'd probably dropped it numerous times by now. We need that.
昨日の夜眠る前に思いついたんだけどね。メールを送信したまま空に投げればうまいこと圏内に入って助けが呼べるんじゃないかなと思ってさ。
That's I never would have thought about that. I'll give you points for that, I guess. Because it could get the signal real fast, send it, and you're good. Well, she's probably the strongest one to be able to do it, so.
今朝からずっと試してるんだけど。よっと。
God damn it. With a fluid overhead motion, Sakuma launched the cell phone and went into the air once again.
それ、すごくいいアイデアじゃないですか。
I would have never thought about that.
だろ？私もそう思ったんだけど。おっと。
That phone is fucked, though. Skillfully catching the cell phone as it plunged back to the earth, she flipped on the screen and checked the status of the transmission.
また失敗か。もう50回ぐらい投げてるけど、一度も成功しないよ。やっぱり、風見の言う通りなのかもね。
I just feel like this area in general, no matter how high up it is probably just, well, not, just as far as even we can throw it, it probably doesn't matter. We probably don't get service out here anyway, regardless. Yeah, what did awesome Kazuki say?
ただでさえ電波が届きにくい環境の上に、もし圏内に投げ込むことができたとしても、送信する前に落下してしまえば意味がないってさ。
Oh, god damn it. She's also right.
だったら、携帯が戻ってこないように、崖の上まで投げちゃえばいいじゃないですか。
Because we don't even know if it'll work anyway or not. God.
私だってそう思ったさ。さっきから投げてるのは、崖の上に乗せてしまおうと思って投げてるんだけど、届かないんだよ。
No one else can. If you're the 3-point queen, then, not gonna happen. None of us are gonna do it. Oh my god. So I look up the sky. Although I couldn't tell the exact height of the cliff she was aiming for, a conservative estimate would be 50 meters. And since the wall sloped over us, some fairly precise aim would be required to land it on top. God.
後で何かうまい方法を考えると風見は言っていたけど、守備よく崖の上に乗せることができたとしても、そこが県内である保証はないってさ。
Yeah, like she said, it's just a remote location. We're probably screwed either way.
そうですか。
I'd hit on the idea of making a crude sling out of a towel or something and throw the phone over the cliff, but it was true enough. There was no evidence we'd be accomplishing anything if it worked. But what if you got it up there and it just broke and then it'd be over? If there wasn't any signal up there either, we'd end up throwing away a valuable potential means of communication for nothing. We each got one. And yet, Sakuma was keeping at her task relentlessly, probably mostly for the sake of having something to do. She seemed to know full well that it was essentially hopeless.
それで、和樹を見かけませんでしたか?
You know where she went, so she probably didn't see her after she left.
風見なら、さっき大きなシャベルを抱えて森に入っていったよ。30分ぐらい前かな。トイレにしては長いね。
Now most of you probably think, oh no, she's in trouble. Nah, she's fine.
ちょっと私、様子を見に行ってこようかと思います。気をつけた方がいいよ。さっき私も森に入ってみたんだけど、道なんてどこにもないし、周りは木ばっかりで目印がないからすぐに迷う。
Oh god, and Amane right now just going into a fucking forest is not a good idea.
何か分かりやすい目印をつけながら行った方がいい。はい、分かりました。気をつけます。
Alright. It'd already been a half hour since Kazuki entered the forest. Definitely way too long for a bathroom break. It was hard to imagine Kazami Kazuki of all people making such a careless blunder, but there was a possibility she lost her bearings and wandered in the wrong direction. I cautiously made my way into the forest, using the blade of a can opener to mark tree trunks with arrows as I went. Okay.
Kazuki!
I tried shouting her name, but there was no reply. I studied the ground at my feet, although trampled vegetation made it clear that some of us had been in this area recently. The trails were indistinct, not that I could tell which belonged to Kazuki in the first place. When I glanced behind me, I found the route I'd trampled through the high grass was still very clear by comparison. Surprisingly, however, it was a meandering zigzag, probably as a result of constantly winding my way around trees. I thought I was walking perfectly straight, too. That's fucking scary. When you think you're, like, going straight, but you're fucking not. Oh, no. This is what makes the wilderness a truly terrifying place, yeah. I thought I had a pretty good sense of the dangers of wild mountains and from books and comics, but now that I was actually experiencing one, I was quickly coming to realize how badly I'd been mistaken. I'd gone in believing that getting lost in the woods would generally work out for the best, so long as you reacted appropriately. That naive thought dissolved in mere minutes inside the jungle. In an environment utterly barren of any trace of other human beings, your sense of isolation quickly builds into anxiety. It becomes easy to rush into action based on unfounded optimistic assumptions. It's gotta be this way. It was probably over here. Over there. Shying away from acknowledging the worst case scenario, running around on your intuition alone, you become truly and hopefully lost. Hopefully? Why would you? Hopelessly. In time, your anxiety reaches a new stage. Am I simply wasting my energy wandering around in circles? An even worse fear, because it's paralyzing. You're frozen where you stand, trapped with your own slowly escalating terror. And eventually the fear of death creeps up on you, breaking your courage and robbing you of reason. In the end, just such an outcome is extremely likely. Can we, like, leave this fucking place?
Kazuki!
Look, you gotta trust in Kazuki. She's gonna be fine. Just go back. It hadn't been 10 minutes since I entered the forest, and I could already feel myself trembling. I'd begun to sink into the first stage, powerful anxiety at my own isolation. I screamed Kazuki's name for a second time, a little louder than before. Oh. What if she actually was just taking a dump? She's like, what the fuck, Amane? Jesus. Maybe it would be smarter to return for now. Yup. While I still know the way back. Then launch an organized search with someone else. But just as these thoughts were running through my head, I heard the rustling sound of someone stepping their way through the high grass a few paces behind me. Ooh. My body went stiff with shock. I spun around to find... Da-da-da! That Kazami Kazuki occupation student had materialized out of nowhere. The usual vaguely sleepy expression on her face.
人の名前をあまり大きな声で叫ばないでもらえる？ファンに取り囲まれたら面倒じゃない。
You fucking smart ass. She's fine.
そう。風見和樹よ。サインが欲しいのなら、マネージャーを通して事務所に色紙を送ってちょうだい。
You know what? I wouldn't mind an autograph myself, to be honest with you.
何？色紙
？Amane, she's fucking joking. Jesus.
いや、だからここであなたはアイドル気取りかって突っ込んでくれないとボケ損ってやつじゃない。
Listen, Amane's not like the, you know.
あ、そうか。ごめん。
Stop fucking saying sorry.
いいわよ別に。それほど面白い冗談だとも思ってなかったし。和樹、どこに行ってたの？
Please say she literally just took a shit. That's all I want.
トイレよ。
Yes.
一人でゆっくり用を足すこともできないなんて、まさにアイドルのようだと思ったから口にした冗談だったのだけれど。
She actually was.
トイレにしては遅いじゃない。30分も頑張ってたの？
Look, she was probably reading something in her brain mind while she was going to the bathroom. So, and you know how you just sit on the toilet and don't even care? That's probably what that was.
ついでだから食べられそうな草を摘んでいたのよ。ほら。
Ooh, edible plants, you say? Kazuki held out some small unfamiliar vegetables. They seem to be immature shoots of some leafy plant. Okay.
山菜でも生えていればと思って探してみたけれど、こんなものしか見つからなかったわ。
So you can trust me, I know it's edible because I have all the knowledge of the fucking universe in this brain.
何それ？食べられるの？草ソテツのわかめよ。一応生でも食べられるけど、おひたしとかにした方がいいわね。
I feel like boiling, cooking, anything is probably for the best. You know, like people meat. Like what's gonna happen? I don't want it to happen.
へえ、こんなの初めて見た。あんまり美味しそうじゃないけど。ろくな食べ物がないから、それらを餌にする野生動物も当然いない。鳥の声はするけど、その姿は見えない。
Damn it. I was gonna say, man, those distant birds we heard, we could go out for a hunting party at them. Come on.
熊に襲われる心配がないのはありがたいけれど、改めてひどい環境だと思い知ったわ。
Shit, man. If a bear came at us, beat the fuck out of it with a shovel, gang up on it, we'd like a pack of wolves, and then we'll be eating bear tonight. Yeehaw, America. I don't know.
とりあえず朝食はこれで済ませましょう。調理法は任せるけど、調味料の類はできるだけ節約して。食材ならまだじゃがいもも人参も残ってるけど、日持ちのするものはできるだけ残しておきたいの。3日でここを脱出できるとは限らないのだし。
Oh, they're here for a while though, aren't they? Like a long time, so... Oof.
そっか、そうだよね。そんなにがっかりしないで。確かに絶望的ではあるけれど、助からないと決まったわけではないから。私たち、助かるの？
The reassurance. Amane needs it.
どうかしら。別にはぐらかすわけではないけれど、さすがの私にもまだわからないわね。
Thanks, Kazuki, for not giving her the reassurance.
私たちが助かる方法ってあるの？あるわよ。
Of course, you can survive anything, really.
どんな方法？何？あるんでしょ？方法が。
あるにはあるけれど、まだ無理。
無理ってどういう意味？
Kazuki, explain.
今の私たちでは実現不可能という意味よ。
ごめん、私バカだから意味がわからない。今は無理ってどういうこと？時間が経てば可能になるってこと？
Never mind, I lost it. I thought I had something. No, I actually didn't.
そういうこと。それに救助が来る可能性もまだ残っているし、今はただじっと耐えるしかないわ。
Think of this as a extended camping trip with very little supplies.
ねえ、どんな方法なの？ヒントだけでも教えてよ。
人間が死なないために必要なものってなんだ？
Water, more than anything. I know that. But also food. And what else do we need? Yeah, we're good.
水？
Uh-huh. I'm not stupid. I know what's up.
あ、思い出した。さっき草を摘んでいるとき、湧き水が湧いている場所を見つけたの。
We're good.
というわけで、飲み水の心配は不要よ。
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. But we gotta worry about food, is what you're saying.
なんだ、お水か。
You go on a water diet, whatever. It's cool.
そうがっかりしたものでもないわよ。水があれば1週間は生きられるもの。部長にはあなたが発見したって報告してくれる？
Like, I was gonna say, you can live, like weeks or something without food, like actual food. But if you don't have water, you'll die in like a week. Like it's crazy. It's because we're like 99.9% water, so whatever.
それは構わないけど。
Statistics that are fake, am I right?
じゃあ戻りましょうか。
待って、私まだヒントの答え聞いてないよ。人間が生きていくのに必要なものって何？
Holy shit! Hold on. Does this path to survival that Kazuki's talking about, is it actually eating people? Okay, hold on. It can't be. It's got. Oh, Jesus.
食べ物よ。
Oh, Jesus, no!
食べ物？それが助かるためのヒント？
そういうこと。だからできるだけ接触しておく必要があるの。
それでみんなが助かるの？
Jesus.
全員が助かるとは一言も言ってないでしょ。
And you know, we'll just eat the ones that don't. Oh my god, my mind is set on this theory, and I don't want it.
もう戻りましょう。あまり遅くなるとみんなが心配するわ。
Like how fucking Amane was like, and then it's like, let's just get going.
カズキ！
大丈夫よ。帰り道は完璧に覚えているから。私についてきなさい。
Yeah, she's got that like super photographic memory and shit. It's fine.
待ってよ、カズキ！
Oh god, so aggressive.
わお、すごい剣幕ね。何をそんなに怒っているの？
I want to hear that again.
わお、わお、わお。
ワオじゃないわよ。全員は助からないってどういう意味？
Listen, I'm trying to make light of the situation, alright? That's how I deal with my stress.
そういう可能性もあるという意味よ。早い段階で救助が来れば、もちろん全員助かるわ。
じゃあもし救助が来なかったら
Then people will unfortunately start dying, starting with the weakest. So, yeah.
それはその時に考えればいいことよ。編成された救助隊の捜索が打ち切られるのは早くて5日、遅くても14日。
Oh my god. Please say it's please say they start mobilizing at the 5 days. Oh my god.
1週間経っても救助が来なければその時に考えましょう。みんなで。
Yeah, this is their only second day. We gotta just worry about living.
そんなに心配しなくても、あなたはかなりの確率で生き残るはずよ。
どんな根拠で
そんなの決まっているでしょ。私のパートナーに選ばれたからよ。
Oh no! What does this mean?
本気で言ってるのそれ。
もちろん本気です。さて、質問は以上かしら。よろしい。では戻りましょう。
I don't know how, but could Kazuki be? That's like, I feel like this line is like a little bit of foreshadowing as well. What? Can Kazuki like make the ultimate sacrifice? Oh my god. I don't know how or why or whatever, but could it happen? Oh Jesus. I'm ready.
もう勝手にズンズン行かないで。
I am ready.
面倒な子ね。不安だから手をつないでほしいのならはっきりとそう言いなさいの。
Just don't touch my left hand because I fucking can't use it.
別にそういうわけじゃ。
あらそう。じゃあいいのね。手をつながなくて。
I'll just take her hand anyway. Fuck it.
つなぐ。
Oh.
はい。お声が遠いのですが。
つなぎます。手をつながせてください、和樹様。
I imagine she actually shouted that out too, like louder than normal.
あら、いい子ね。いらっしゃい、あまねちゃん。
That's a sweet thing.
もうこれからは勝手に一人で行動しないで。私心配したんだよ。
あなたが私を？
そりゃさ、私ごときがおこがましいとは思うけど。
I mean, I doubt you would like have went out into this forest to look for one of the other people if they were missing, because Kazuki would probably be like, let's just I don't.
いえ、そういう意味ではなくて、むしろ私を心配してくれる人がいることに驚いたというか。でもそうね、ごめんなさい。そんな顔しないで。まるで母親に置いていかれた子供みたいな顔じゃない。大丈夫。あなたを置いてどこにも行きはしないから。
約束？
ええ、約束するわ。さあ、戻りましょう。
Please get out of this spoopy ass forest. I do not like this forest. Quote. Since I was physically sturdy, I was usually the one being relied on by others, but at that moment I realized I'd grown totally dependent on this diminutive girl, Kazami Kazuki, occupation student. I wasn't used to leaning on others like a crutch. Clinging to someone usually made me feel more awkward than anything else, but that day, the distinct warmth of Kazuki's small hand was very reassuring.
冷たい手をしているのね、あまね。
ごめん。
Don't say sorry for that. You can't control yourself.
いいのよ。私の母親もこんな感じの手だから。
私のことお母さんって呼んでもいいのよ。
Oh my god.
あら、言うようになったわね。
Jesus. You know, they see this character development and then it's gonna get shattered by the inevitable sadness. Yeah, that's... Kazuki guided me back by the hand back out of the forest. When we returned to camp, we found everyone gathered in front of the tents, discussing plans for the future and proposing escape stratagems. Of course, we were students from a school for rich young ladies with only the superficial appearance of maturity. Producing a perfect smile for a polite good day was the extent of the practical non-academic knowledge we'd gained there. As such major experience wasn't exactly of much use here, the majority of the ideas were unrealistic, founded on the assumption the world would arrange itself for our convenience. Not gonna happen. If anything, it could be called good fortune that a few halfway decent sounding thoughts were mixed in. For example, Sakuma's throwing cell phone into the sky. However, the majority of these more worthwhile plans had already been tried out by another person who brought them up, all with little success. In this life and death situation, everyone tossed out any idea that popped into their head, grasping at straws in a desperate search for hope. But when someone proposed we capture a bird and wrap a letter around its leg asking for help, Captain Shakashita finally lost his her temper at the sheer absurdity.
あなたたち、少しは真面目に考えたらどうなの?
The fuck you mean? They're throwing out every idea.
そんな、私たちだって必死に考えて。
Look, Captain Bitch, you ain't doing anything.
必死に考えてその程度なの。小学生だってもう少しまともな意見を口にするわよ。それとも何？この次はどうやって鳥を捕まえるかという議題で話し合うつもり？
God, I hate this girl. Can we eat her first or No, let's not think eating people's gonna happen.
何もそんな言い方しなくたってねえ。確かに一番必死なのは坂下かもね。私たちよりまともな意見があるなら言えばいいのに。
Yeah, fuck, you got better ideas, bitch. The stage whispers of her critics naturally reached Captain Shakashita's ears as they were intended to.
あなたたち、言いたいことがあるならはっきりと言いなさいな。そんな陰口のように恥ずかしくはないの?
Oh no, I feel like they were saying that fairly loud so you can hear. Captain Shakashita's irritated, impatient tone was no different from her usual scoldings during practice. But at that moment, they weren't in the usual situation. Tucked away in our safe gymnasium, it was the life or death emergency and everyone was frantic. At such times, people instinctively seek out someone to rely on. The more desperate the situation, the more we throw aside rank and title and turn to raw competence. It felt like many gazes were beginning to concentrate on Kazuki's general direction. I don't think it was just my imagination. Captain Shakashita seemed to have noticed it as well. Swallowed by what looked like an overwhelming surge of irritation, she abruptly grabbed a nearby fist-sized outcropping of rock, then squeezed it so hard her fingers turned white. Bitch, you don't know what you're doing, alright? Get out of here. This isn't good. We weren't going to achieve anything by continuing this attack on Captain Shakashita, and I think we all knew that. Even so, I understood the temptation to create a scapegoat, the irrational feeling that pushing all the bitterness and blame onto another would wipe away our own shortcomings, as if doing so would save us somehow. But it's not gonna. For most of the team members, the captain had become the scapegoat. And for the captain, it must have been Kazuki who filled that role. But why? Fucking bitch. As the main authority figure, our advisor, Mr. Ochi, probably should have interceded by now, but he seemed intent on staying out of the conversation under the pretext of attending to the wounded. Yeah, sure. Loser. He never made a habit of intervening in the team's quarrels, a policy typical of teachers at an all-female school, who know full well what a nuisance it is to get caught in the crossfire of a schoolgirl squabble. His normal approach was to smooth things over with the individuals involved after the fight had died down. He was probably assuming that would be enough this time as well. What should we do? Not that I really have the grounds to criticize his passivity. In the end, I glanced pleadingly at Kazuki out of the corner of my eye, hoping she would rescue us from this ugly situation. Apparently reading my mind from that small movement, Kazuki let out a short, resigned sigh, then slowly opened her mouth to speak.
もうその辺にしておきなさい。バカを相手に喧嘩をする人が一番バカよ。
その言葉、私に言ったの？それとも彼女たちに？
Oh my god. It's directed at everybody. Or no one at all. Just a general statement.
みんなに言ったのよ。
Yeah, see?
あなたにはどう聞こえた？
You attacking me? That is her character. Jesus Christ.
そういうあなたはさっきからずっと黙っているようだけど、何かいいアイデアはないのかしら？
おとなしく救助を待つという提案が一番最初に決まったはずですが。
Kazuki's the girl that if she had like an idea, she would have fucking said it already, you know? Other than, you know, that.
何もしないでただ救助を待つというの？いつ来るかもわからない救助を。
いつ来るかわからないから無駄に体力を消耗したくないのです。
I was hoping she would like have been like, it'll take Lao about like 5 to 2 weeks. Wait, 5 to 2 weeks. 5 days to 2 weeks.
幸いなことにスオさんのおかげで水源は確保できたことですし、接触すればしばらくは持ちこたえられますが、それとも
Hey, we didn't find that water. You did. Kazuki covered her mouth with her hand and narrowed her eyes in apparent amusement.
それとも以前私が申し上げたように一か八かの賭けに出てあの密林に足を踏み入れて脱出を試みますか？
God damn it. As she spoke, Kazuki jerked her head in the direction of the overgrown humid jungle, sealing our only exit from the valley. Even from a distance, the tangled mass of plants exuded the indifferent menace of nature.
それは
The captain had empathetically shot down the suggestion only yesterday. Overturning that decision now was probably impossible. Cold sweat forming at my temples, I watched nervously as the captain's face changed color to an extremely disturbing shade of red. But in the next moment, Kazuki shot me a quick, suggestive glance. Oh, I get it. I abruptly jerked my hand in the air as if requesting a teacher's attention in the classroom.
よろしいでしょうか？
Amane, you don't have to raise your hand.
何かしら、スオさん。
やっぱり部長がおっしゃったように、うかつに森に入るのは危険だと思います。
それはもう誰もが理解していることよ。
Alright, bitch. She's thinking she's top shit. Thinks all her ideas are fucking great.
ですからとりあえず1週間この場で思いつく限りのアイデアを試しながら救助を待つというのはどうでしょう？
どうして1週間なの？
この手の遭難事故の場合、だいたい2週間で捜索が打ち切られるそうです。ですから1週間待ってみて救助が来ない場合は、その時にまたこちらから行動を起こすアイデアを話し合いましょう。
それを今話し合っているのでしょ？あなた何を言っているの？
Oh my god, I hate this fucking bitch.
それはどうして1週間後にも今日と同じ体力が残っていると思えるのかしら。不思議。
なんですって？
I love fucking Kazuki, dude. I turned my head slightly to the side and shot Kazuki a brief glare. Not that she even noticed, judging from her unruffled, perfectly indifferent expression.
いや、でも、まあ、つまりはそういうことです。とにかく1週間、思いつく限りの手段で SOS を発信しながら救助を待って、それでも救助が来なかったら、その時の体力や食料事情に応じた対策を話し合いましょ
う。まあいいわ。確かに今はそれぐらいしかできることもなさそうだし。それでよろしいですね、先生。
ああ、とりあえずはそれでいいだろう。
He doesn't even care. Or rather, he's just out of it.
では最後に私からの忠告です。
各自アイデアを出して実行するのは構いませんが、決して無茶のない範囲で行動するように。
I take that as a license to act recklessly.
崖に足場を掘りながらよじ登るとか、そういった危険が伴うアイデアはくれぐれも実行しないように。以上。
Okay, what if someone were to somehow, some way, climb up that wall? They could easily fucking get up there, find something. No, because it's fucking sloped. Ooh, that's a hoozle. We don't have equipment for that. With those clipping words of warning, the discussion finally ended, taking with it the tension that had hung thick in the air for so long. The rest of the group quickly broke up into their assigned pairs, whispering furtively to each other as they walked away from the meeting place. Of course, I was no exception, as Kazuki promptly stood up from her seat and made to leave. Well, yeah. I chased after her and immediately offered a few words of complaint.
ちょっと、さっきのはひどくない？
I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
あら、何のこと？また私に重要な発言を丸投げしたでしょ。私、和樹の腹話術人形じゃないんだからね。変ね。私、あなたに何か言えと命令した覚えは全くないのだけれど。
Yeah, you just acted. She didn't say anything.
言わなくてもわかるわよ。それに目で合図したじゃない。
You don't know that.
ええ、確かに合図は送ったけれど、
Damn it.
まさかああも敏感に感じ取ってもらえるとは思ってもいなかったから、私もう嬉しくて。今日は一日ニコニコしていると思うけど、気持ち悪いとか思われないか心配だわ。なんかいろんな意味で気持ち悪いのは確かね。あまね、私はあなたがとても気に入ったわ。もし私が男なら間違いなくあなたにプロポーズしているわよ。
Oh, I'm smitten.
やめてよ、私そっちの趣味ないし。
That's why she said if she were a man, then she would have proposed. She also doesn't swing that way, apparently.
ええ、大丈夫。私にも今のところそっちの趣味はないから。
At the moment, things could fucking change. Who fucking knows, man?
今のところって。
Is she implying there's a chance she'll swing that way in the future? Oh, Kazuki, you are an enigma.
まあ、絶対にないとは言えないわね。だから、私の心を先読みして会話をしないでよ。何にせよ、あなたのおかげで話がうまくまとまったのだから、1000の感謝を送りたいわ。
No problem. No problem.
ああ、才ですか。そりゃよござんしたね。
This fucking... fuck. This Amane face right now. I'm just trying to make light of situations, alright?
それでもやはり残る懸念はあの部長ね。やっぱり私、あの子が嫌いだわ。
Oh, I can't either. I'd be fuming at that bitch already.
はっきり言うな。確かにちょっと上から目線が鼻につくけど、基本的に悪い先輩ではないと思うけど。
I think she does. While her tone tended to be harsh, her directions during practice were appropriate and reasonable, and she cared more about the members of the team than you might think. Currently, she was in a far more taxing situation than captaining a school team could have possibly prepared her for. Taking that into consideration, you could say she was coping fairly calmly.
確かにそうかもしれない。でも、仮にも部という一つの組織をまとめる長なのだから、せめてブレインストーミングぐらいは理解していてほしいのだけれど。何？
You don't even know what that is?
ブレインストーミングよ。何それ？
There's no like other other languages don't have a different word for brainstorming?
ググりなさい。
Google it. Annihilated.
は？
God damn it, she's the best.
説明が面倒な時の合言葉よ。でもまあそうね。通信手段が途絶している今この場では酷な言葉ね。まあ簡単に説明してしまうと4つの原則があるの。はあ。1、決めつけない。2、否定せずに何でも受け入れる。3、とにかく数を出す。4、結合する。以上の4つよ。つまりどんなにくだらない意見でも否定せずにとりあえず聞いてみて。
Fucking especially in this situation.
一見して無駄のように思える意見でも他の意見と組み合わせることで有効な意見にできないかを考える。それがブレインストーミングよ。おお、なんか天才っぽい。
It's not. Everyone does brainstorms to. God damn it.
茶化さないの。結構真面目な話をしているのだから。ごめん。それで？さっきの話し合いで彼女は他人の意見に否定をぶつけるだけで何一つ建設的な意見は口にしなかったでしょ？
Yes, that is exactly what she did.
そう。例えば火を起こしてのろしをあげるとか、いっそ森に火をつけるとか。そんな意見に彼女は何て答えたかしら？それは確かもう試してみて効果がなかったんじゃなかったっけ？のろしの煙は重なった木々の枝で分散されちゃうし、山火事の場合は冬場ならともかく今の季節は森自体の湿度が高くてジメジメしてるから無理だって。
I feel like it's still worth a shot.
そう。他にはどんな意見があったかしら？
You know, I never actually thought about that. Just set the whole fucking forest on fire. Fuck it.
次はメール送信状態の携帯電話を崖の上に投げ込む？それも佐久間先輩が何度も試して失敗しているわね。他は？テントのシートを材料にしてタコを作ってあげるとか、鳥を捕まえて足に手紙を結びつけるとか。
See, we're coming up. We came up with the best ideas.
あら、何か思いついた？
Kazuki just ding ding ding. He found it.
タコに携帯電話を結びつけて空にあげるってどうかな？
I don't know about that.
そうね。試してみる価値はあると思うわ。
I mean, it could work. I'm just concerned.
さっきの話し合いではそんなこと思いつかなかったのに。あれもダメ、これもダメと否定するだけの話し合いに意味なんてないわ。くだらない意見もすべて受け入れた上で、その中から複数のアイデアを組み合わせて新しい意見を考える。そういう発想があれば、あの話し合いも無駄ではなかったはずなんだけどね。
Yeah, we would have had a lot less just. That's a stupid idea.
どうしてあの場でそれを言わなかったの？だって、また余計なことを言って怒られたら嫌じゃない。それに、物の考え方の価値って、人に教わるより自分で気がついた方がずっと高級だと思わない？例えば、タコに携帯電話を結びつけて飛ばすアイデアとか？そう。そのひらめきが脳を活性化させるの。
It is.
やっぱりあなたは最初から答えが分かっていて、私に思いつかせるように会話で誘導したのね。
Already classic Kazuki.
そういうものの捉え方は心外だわ。それともあなたは学校で数式を習っても同じように教師に噛みつくの？
I don't. I just find it irritating. It's just like, God damn it. I want to figure this out myself.
今の私たちと学校での私たちじゃ置かれている状況が違うわ。何でも教えてくれる人が身近にいると自分では考えることをしなくなる。そういう観点で見れば同じことよ。
She's right, but at the same time, I feel like this situation isn't probably a good situation to learn lessons like that. I think, you know what I mean? I mean, you can learn a lot of lessons from this situation, but that one specifically probably isn't the best place to learn that.
私、あなたのそういう回りくどいところが少し苦手。
Sometimes. Huh. I think it's quite funny too.
気をつけるわ。
I felt like I was beginning to understand why my conversations with Kazuki sometimes felt slightly off. The discussions I had with this girl reminded me strongly of a classroom dialogue between a teacher and a student. She never revealed the answers immediately, instead dropping vague, indirect hints she clearly regarded those with no desire to learn as unworthy as her wisdom. In other words, very much like a veteran professor, an aging department head with a knowing smile. If Kazuki deigned to consider this matter seriously, might she be able to find out a way out of this whole mess in the blink of an eye? The more I thought about it, the more these little lessons of Kazuki's seemed like an indirect way of rubbing my nose in my inferiority. The implied message was, "You're incompetent." Frankly, it kind of pissed me off. And since I really was incompetent, I couldn't come up with any biting comebacks, which pissed me off even worse. I had an itching desire to show her up somehow, but what could I possibly hope to defeat her at? Nothing. She's awesome. Alright, if nothing else, I'm probably a better cook. Yeah, that's a pretty good chance I could teach her a lesson or two in that arena. I latched onto the trifling point of superiority, imagining Kazuki fumbling around helplessly in the kitchen under my dry supervision. Jeez, you're all thumbs, Kazuki, and all that. Before I knew it, there was a smile on my face. All of a sudden, this aggravating young woman looked like a cute little girl. I was slightly exasperated at my own simple-mindedness. I quickly put the culinary skills in question to use, whipping up our meager breakfast. I thought we were skipping breakfast. I thought we were only having one meal a day. As Kazuki and I were choking it down, I ended up telling her about that little daydream.
その単純さこそが人が自殺をしないためのシステムよ。
You know, she's what? Okay. She responded with these pretty much incomprehensible sentences. That and a gentle smile. The heck is with this girl anyway? Well, whatever. I'd finished my breakfast. It hadn't exactly filled my stomach and inspired a burst of energy for the day to come, but I nonetheless decided to take a little positive action by proposing the kite cell phone idea to the captain. Oh no.
あなたもなの?
Oh God, what? She's such a bitch and I hate her.
どういう意味です？
She's gonna be like, that's a stupid idea. Well, fuck you, bitch.
そのアイデアを私のところに持ち込んだのはあなたが初めてではないという意味よ。10分ぐらい前に金田小森のペアが来て試させてほしいって言ってきたの。
Well, see, mate, because they're getting all some ideas too.
そうなんですか。
Yeah, I guess anybody could come up with that one.
同じ実験を2つすることに意味はないし、他のアイデアを思いついたらまた来なさい。
わかりました。
Well, shit. I'd been feeling a little proud of myself for coming up with a decent idea. For some reason, it felt as though that achievement had been pulled out from under me. I trudged back to the tent, my shoulders drooping, and told Kazuki about the outcome. There was another pair that had hit the exact same idea. Of course, Kaneda and Komori had participated in the same discussion and had the same information to work from. It wasn't that strange a coincidence. Indeed, Katsuki showed no surprise whatsoever. Quite the opposite. She nodded her head with the words, "Ah, I figured as much." From what she told me, something called reminiscence was likely at work here. God damn it.
レミニセンスというのはつまり情報を得た直後より 一定の時間が経過してからの方が記憶の関連付けが進行する分、早期や連結発想がしやすくなるという現象ね。
Science and facts with Kazuki. Da 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 da.
また難しい話をしようとしている？
You gotta use the smaller words, Kazuki, okay? You can't.
そうね。専門的な話をすると長くなるし、やめておきましょう。
Or just stop.
ぜひそうしてください。
それで、何か他のアイデアは思いついた？
タコをあげて発見してもらうというのは他者の視覚に訴えかける通信、つまり光媒体の通信だよね。
ええ、そうね。
携帯電話を使うのはそのまま電波通信でしょ？
はん、つまりそういうこと？
もしかして私が今から言おうとしたこともう分かっちゃった？
You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm saying, right? Finish it for me. Finish my sentence.
音による通信の可能性？
なんだ、やっぱりバレてた。
Kazuki's always like 15,000 steps ahead of everyone else, alright?
いいえ、私も今あなたの話で気がついたのよ。つまりバスのクラクションを鳴らすとか、そういった聴覚に訴えかける大音量装置による通信でしょ？
うん、そうそう、そんな感じ。
まさかとは思うけど、みんなで大きな声で叫ぶとか考えていたわけではないわよね。
Well, yes.
それはその
Yeah.
考えていたんだ。
はいはい、考えてましたよ。どうせ私はアホですよ。
You are derpy, but at least you're trying, okay?
発想の着眼点は悪くないわよ。誰かに先を越される前に部長に報告してみたら？
That's a stupid idea. You know what? I just want to stay here and die. Alright, Captain, you can do that.
一応報告はするけど、きっと私でなくても誰かが思いつくアイデアよね。
言ったでしょ？そういった小さな発想の積み重ねが新しいアイデアにつながるのよ。
But I feel like the fucking captain's not really gonna listen to anything we fucking say.
まあ、それはわかるんだけどね。一つ思いついたらすぐに報告ってのもなんか頭悪いかなって。
だったらもう一つアイデアを用意したら？例えばそうね、あまり現実味はないけれど発想の一つとしてデジタル通信の可能性とかはどうかしら？
デジタル通信？
例えばそう、森に行ってこう長い木の枝を何本も集めて、それを縦に連結していけば理論上は何百メートルだろうと長い棒が作れるでしょ？
Is there maybe a way you could, like, climb the trees?
その長い棒の一端を私たちが掴んで、右に回転させれば0、左に回転させれば1とすれば二進法のデジタル信号が送れるでしょ？
なんか和樹にしては割とバカっぽいアイデアだよね、それ。
But it's an idea, and it's plausible.
そうかしら。質量はともかく重量の制限を受けない宇宙空間でならタイムラグのない超長距離高速通信に応用できそうなネタだと思うけど、ダメ？
Plausible. I mean, like, I I just like the idea of that. Just, all right, hold on, I can do this, and it's like just this long fucking massive branches.
ダメっていうか、宇宙ってなんだろうな、やっぱ
なんとかと天才って紙一重なんだね。今思い知った感じ。
Oh, she's both of those.
だから発想の元というか、あくまでも着眼点の一つとして報告してみてはどうかしらというプロポーズなのだけれど。まあそうね、そういう考え方もあるって感じで報告してみるけど、バカだと思われたら嫌だな。あなた、それは私に対して何気に失礼よ。
After that, I offered the captain my second idea and received a fairly positive evaluation of worth looking into. I did give a half-hearted mention of the possibility of digital communication as well, but as anticipated, the captain's reaction was unenthusiastic. The concept clearly didn't click well with her, and I was left with a vague permission for experiments within the range of common sense. Why do I need permission for this? Well, the proposed experiment just involved gathering long sticks and trying to bind them together, so at least failure wouldn't be a complete waste of effort. We'd have secured ourselves a supply of firewood, if nothing else. That said, the first priority was looking into the more realistic possibility of communication through sound. In other words, examining the ruins of the bus and seeing if the horn was still functional. As a matter of fact, I had a bit of knowledge about motor vehicles. I'd liked cars ever since I was a young child. Back in the day, I loved tagging along with my dad to the market every morning in our mini truck, pick-em-up truck. I guess my somewhat tomboyish fascination with cars amused my dad, as he would often let me sit in his lap and take the wheel. Then he'd let me drive around the market grounds for the sheer fuck of it, really. Of course, I had gotten a little old for that, but I never lost my curiosity about automobiles, I'd picked up a bit of knowledge about how they function. Crawling through the broken rear window, I made my way into the overturned bus once again. Inside, the smell of leaking fuel had been noticeably thicker in the air. After slowly and carefully making my way the length of the bus, I reached the driver's seat to find the keys still seated in the ignition, but the cylinder had been firmly turned to the off position. Come to think of it, that was my doing. When I dragged Mr. Ochi from the driver's seat, I'd found the eerie glow of the dashboard backlight so creepy that I immediately switched it off. Clutching the key tightly, I said a small prayer to no one in particular, then twisted it to on. The dashboard sprung immediately to life, and I heard the distinctive stirring of the fuel pump motor. Apparently the battery was still alive. Must have been a dry cell. With the vehicle sideways like this, the liquid electrolytes would have leaked out of a wet battery. Yep. I was tempted to keep turning the key to start, but the engine was probably a lost cause. I'd just be wasting precious battery juice in the attempt. First off, I was here to test whether the horn was operational. Here, we're gonna scare the shit out of everybody. I gave the center of the steering wheel a light push with the palm of my hand, and a surprisingly loud blast of sound rang through the air. Fucking leg. Everyone's like, holy shit. At the sudden sound, everyone in the valley turned as one to stare in my direction. For the moment, I'd confirmed the horn was operational. Now we had to consider how to make effective use of it. Just blasting away aimlessly would run down the battery quickly, so it seemed necessary to discuss how and when we should utilize it. Turning the ignition back to off for now, I cautiously made my way out of the bus.
クラクション使えるみたいね。そうだね。あとはどのタイミングで鳴らすかってのが問題かな。いくら鳴らしてもそれを聞きつけて救助を呼んでくれる人がそばにいなければまるで意味がないし。
I doubt really anybody would be able to hear from all the way down here anyway.
まずは音という要素を一つ確保したというところで満足するべきね。それをそのまま使うのか、それとも他の何かと組み合わせて使うのか、その辺は今後考えていきましょう。
I turned around and looked up in the direction of the road. At a guess, it was perhaps 200 meters distant from the bottom of the ravine where we were trapped, and the sound of our horn would probably carry that far. Huh. But how were we supposed to know if someone was up there at any given moment? That was the biggest problem with this idea. From that distance, a car could be rumbling fairly noisily down the road and will likely not notice. I couldn't immediately think of anything other than the passive strategy of honking the horn at regular intervals in the hopes of a coincidence. Yeah.
捜索隊のヘリでも飛んできてくれれば分かりやすいんだけどな。ヘリコプターだと逆に自分の出す音が大きすぎてこちらの出す音に気がつかないんじゃないかしら。そうか。
Oh.
音がダメなら光はヘッドライトを取り外して空に向けて点灯してみたらどうかな。
It'll get us a makeshift bat symbol.
いいアイデアだとは思うけど。
But the bus is on its side, so we can't really do that easily. Turning back to follow Kazuki's gaze, I quickly discovered why she trailed off mid-sentence. After tumbling down a slope 200 meters in length, finally plunging into a pit-like valley, the bus resembled a gigantic piece of gum chewed up and spat out by a dinosaur. The roof was caved in, the windows were all broken, and the headlights and turn signals were no exception to the general rule. Everyone was smashed beyond repair. Damn it!
ダメか。
So much for that plan.
室内灯とかテールランプの一つも生き残っていれば何かの役に立つかもしれないし、調べてみましょう。そうだね。
Okay, let's check this out. Kazuki and I divided the job of searching the wreckage of the bus for potentially useful items, but the noticeably important things had already been carried out. The only new discoveries were a few discarded magazines and a slightly dirty blanket that had been used as cushioning in the luggage compartment, as well as some small metal box containing a bare handful of tools and a single fire extinguisher probably designed for use against vehicle fires. Nothing to write home about, in other words. We could use that shit. Somehow. I had tried to go in without much in the way of expectations, but there was definitely a part of me clinging to a faint hope of discovering something. An armful of canned food in some unexplored nook of the luggage compartment would have sent me back to the camp jumping for joy. When that hope was dashed, the disappointment hit me harder than I expected.
ねえ、カズキ、私たちどうなるのかな。
Oh, don't ask these questions.
その質問、今日だけで4回目よ。そして私は毎回同じ答えを口にしている。なるようにしかならないし、なんとでもなるから今はただ希望を捨てずにできることをしなさい。だよね。分かってはいるんだけど、どうしてもね。
For now, we simply do what we can. In those words, there was a slight glimmer of optimism, the suggestion that at some undefined ladder we would escape. Or later. Why'd I say ladder? But that vague hope was too slippery to cling on to. I couldn't see anything but overwhelming, unpredictable reality. The anxiety and uncertainty was almost too much to bear. It felt as though someone had suddenly dropped an enormous whale in front of me and told me to fillet it with a single fruit knife. Holding back tears, I was thrusting my tiny blade into the thick, unyielding blubber, tormented by a sense of futility, doubtful I was accomplishing anything at all. And just waiting for someone to tell me it's impossible, just give up. In such a situation, I couldn't help but sink into pessimism and passivity. Is help coming? When will they arrive? What if they never find us? Can we possibly escape on our own? Can we possibly survive this? I knew full well that anguishing over such unanswerable questions accomplished nothing. But before I realized it, they were oozing out from the dark corners of my mind. In this another one of those involuntarily psychological, or is this one another one of those involuntarily psychological defense mechanisms designed to push us through life? When I asked Kazuki, she shook her head and told me flat out, no, that's probably just your personality. Well, you know, I'm just saying, like, it's hard not in a situation to be like this. It's hard to even be optimistic Because you're like, it just seems like everything is so hopeless that it's just, you just end up thinking about that. Like, thinking about the just, I don't, are we actually going to get out of this? I don't know. Pessimism just fucking kicks in, and you shouldn't have that outset if you're in this situation. I feel like you need that optimism to keep yourself going. That's how I'd be anyway, or try to.